All right, so let me get down to the nitty gritty, right? Because I had this plan, an idea, right, to basically go through the legacy and the history of the Planet of the Apes in order to illustrate, a point for the Art of War series. But unfortunately, that specific the way that I had it set up was so long winded to the point where it's like it became like 30 minutes of me just like rambling on and whatnot. So in here, pretty much I'm gonna make it it's gonna be more concise and straight to the point, right? Because for the past like 2 days and whatnot, I've been thinking a lot, right? And it goes in line with like what am what is my legacy going to be once I'm just like done with all of this, right? What what would my message have been, and who am I going to be like when this is all said and done, right? Because at some point in time, you gotta take into consideration it's like not everyone's gonna be doing like YouTube and all this other stuff on the internet forever, right? So you kind of have to make the best of your time, just like anything else you would do. You go on up stage for the Apollo, right? That's your first performance. Like you gonna make the most of your time there, because everything that you do on the internet is pretty much a digital footprint from when you start to be on the internet to when you finally done been getting off the internet. Like there's a whole digital footprint there where it's like people can trace like who you were and what your journey was and who you became at the end of it all. And when I started to think about that, especially before I started to go to bed, like I kind of just I kind of realized that I haven't really been like the greatest at this. Not even the best. To be honest, I don't even think I've really been good at this because the word for this is legacy, right? Legacy is very important. And with that word, you can go in many different directions with it. But I really want to touch on this specific word when it comes to legacy, and that is community. Community is very important when trying to create a legacy, at the very least, because if you have a community built around your legacy, that means that you've been able to influence people around you. You've been able to touch not only their hearts but their minds as well. You were able to make them look at the world in a certain way and have them make changes in a way where it's like they probably didn't think that it was possible before. You know what I mean? And to be honest, I guess I was sort of on the path of that, but it's just like I wasn't really stuck onto it all the way because I feel like majority of people nowadays, whenever they go ahead and do something, they don't want to be looked at as a role model because they're just like, oh, well, it's like I'm not the greatest person, I'm not perfect or anything like that. My thing is like you don't have to be perfect to be a role model because if you're perfect, clearly you're hiding something for whatever reason, right? And I know for damn sure I'm not perfect. To be honest, for the lack of a better term, I know I've been a, I've been a dirty motherfucker, right? I've done some things within my life that I'm not proud of. I've done some things that I look back on and I'm just like that was actually like pretty fucking bad and we shouldn't have done it. But I'm 100% guaranteed that like a lot of people feel that way about some of the things that they've done in the past, regardless of what it was. You know what I mean? So it's about the Reformation and making the statement of I've changed from that and I'm going to do better and I plan on doing better and I'm going to hold myself accountable for all those decisions that I've made and I'm going to push myself to be a better person than I was before because I don't want the next generation to go through the same shit that I've went through. I don't want them to have to go through all these trials and tribulations in order to get to the point where I got to. Now, granted, yes, they're gonna go through some things. How, you know what I mean? That's just life. You know what I mean? Life is just like, basically our pimp pretty much. Because at the end of the day, it's like every now and then, life is going to sit here and it's going to check us. Like, it's going to make sure that we've been on top of our shit. And if we haven't, life has a simple way of humbling us and making sure we've been on top of it. You know what I mean? Life is just like, hey, yo, you been on top of your stuff? All right, let me check on you real quick. Let me see what's up. You know what I mean? So, and with that, legacy, community. You know what I mean? Caesar built a wonderful and fantastic legacy. Because starting from the second movie, you know what I mean, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and everything like that, to the latest one. You know what I mean? Caesar made a wonderful legacy because his legacy was built around community. You know, even though he was the head of that community, it wasn't a dictatorship. He had his community set up like as if it was a family. Whether it be gorillas, orangutans, chimpanzees, everyone was essentially an equal. And it's like, of course, he had his advisor, he had his right-hand man, everything like that. Everybody had a role to play within it. It's a community. So it's like everybody had a role to play, and everybody was important to that community because they had building blocks, they had structure. And I feel like nowadays, especially within this economy, really don't have too much community. You know what I mean? IRL anyway. Which kind of got me to a point where it's just like, damn, I've really been fucking up on this thing because I haven't really been focused and standing on 10 toes down on what I should be doing, especially with what I'm supposed to be doing on YouTube. You know what I mean? And granted, it's like life happens. You go through things and, we make revelations and everything like that. But I definitely should have been better about holding myself accountable and doing these things on a more consistent basis. But I also came to a realization to the point where it's just like if I continue to... Oh, that was just lint. Anyway. Where was I at again before I was distracted? Oh, yeah. Community, right? I should be holding myself more accountable for doing this YouTube stuff because with me being inconsistent, it kind of forms a disconnect, right? But at the same time, like life does happen and all that other stuff. And, you know what I mean? I've been away for a good bit. You know what I mean? So it's like if people did leave, you know what I mean? I do apologize, but, life be lifing. You know what I mean? The pimp had to check up on me and make sure I was on top of my shit. And it kind of humbled me to the point where it's like I realized I wasn't on top of my shit. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I have been doing more writing lately. You know what I mean? So I'm happy about that. But over here on this side, I've been leaving my community stranded. Pretty much. And for that, I do apologize. You know what I mean? Because what I want my legacy to be is to help others forge a path that can help benefit them, the people around them, as well as the next generation that's going to come up. Because I've been seeing a lot of things that aren't going to lead us in a very good direction. You know what I mean? And it's scary out here. And it's getting scarier and scarier by the minute. You know what I mean? And the main thing that I'm looking at is like the culture of hip hop, because that's what's contributing to most of the foolishness that's going on. So at some point I'm gonna have to tackle that. And I am going to make that be a part of my legacy. Because it's very important to me. Right? But I want this to be known right out of the gate. No, I do not consider myself a rapper. No, I do not if anything, I'm a poet. I'm a poet at heart. But if anything, I'm human resources, baby. Alright? I'm not perfect. I don't plan on being perfect. I'm human just like everybody else. I got mistakes. I've made mistakes. I have flaws. And best believe I got vices that I got to take care of on my own. But the fact of the matter is I do plan on moving forward to becoming a better person than I was yesterday. And for the sake of my own children in the future, and for everyone around me who's giving me a listening ear right now. You know what I mean? I appreciate your time and everything like that. And if I don't affect everyone, you know what I mean? Then that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, as long as I'm able to at least reach one person to help them make a change, to really be like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, what is my legacy gonna be? Who am I gonna be when I'm done with everything that I do? Like, you know what I mean? Am I on the right path to make sure that my children have everything that they need to have once, you know, that time comes and everything like that? Do I have the structure that they're going to need in order to prosper within this life so they don't fall to the same vices and everything that I fell through? You know what I mean? Which is basically what my battle is right now. So, me being absent from, you know, doing YouTube videos and all these promos and doing the readings and everything like that, just know is not because I don't want to do it, is because I just have other things going on, to the point where it's just like I feel like I need to also build myself. So in order to make my community, in order to make my legacy the best that I could possibly make it be, I have to also look within myself and make myself a better person as well. Because in order for me to prop up everything else, in order to hold up the world on my own shoulders, I have to make sure that my shoulders are strong enough in order to do that. And lately I've been feeling like my shoulders and everything like that have not been strong enough in order to do it. But I feel like I'm starting to get back to that point, because now I'm starting to hold myself accountable and really look at myself in the mirror and be like, you're fucking up. You're not doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. You're slacking. You're starting to end up going back into that whole seesaw effect type of thing. You may be going up in one section, but you're falling down on the other. You know what I mean? And for what I want to do, I don't want to have that seesaw effect of where I'm starting to progress in something else, but I'm also declining in something else. I don't like that. So in order for me to really be who I want to be, and in order to have my legacy to be exactly where I want it to be, I need to end that seesaw effect and make sure everything is balanced and everything is in check, to where I feel like I'm satisfied with it. Because the way that I see it, even though if other people are perfectly fine with how I do things and how I perform, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm a very picky, I'm a very stingy motherfucker, and I'm I'm predisposed to putting more than 100% in. I'm the type of dude that wants to put 110, 120, 130, 140, 150 if I can push that. You know what I mean? But that's basically what I wanted to get off of my chest, pretty much. Right? So, after listening to this, ask yourself, what is your legacy going to be? You know what I mean? What are your goals? What do you plan to achieve? Right? So I'm going to go back into my den, continue building up, continue improving, and continue to build this legacy while also trying to help build up and prop up other people around me. Not just my loved ones, but my friends. Not only my friends, but my community that I'm building here. You know? But on the topic of the community, I may just be branching away from having this be a gaming channel in general, because I don't feel like it's like that anymore. Now, granted, I may be doing some edits where it's like it has some games in the background and everything like that. I may do some playthroughs and whatnot, but I think in general, I might just make this like a whole, like, maybe just like a life, you know, YouTube or whatever. Because every now and then I'll come on here, I'll say what I need to say, and, you know, then I just go back in my little cubby hole, right? Every now and then it's like I may do an edit and, you know what I mean, put it out there, may look nice. I may just, you know what I mean, have some words on there as well. But, you know, with my writing, with my readings, with, you know, with these promos as well, I need to be back on top of that, and I need to pump out the best material that I possibly can, not just for everyone around me and for everyone who's listening, but for myself as well. You know? But I do appreciate everyone for coming on through and listening to what I have to say. You know what I mean? I appreciate that time. Now, whether you decide to, like, ask those questions and have those hard conversations and, like, ask yourself, you know what I mean? That's all up to you. My thing isn't to force anybody to go through the type of processes that I go through. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like I do have everyone's best intentions in mind. I don't mean to offend anybody. I don't mean to be like, hey, yo, you fucking up. Pick yourself up off the ground type shit. Now, if you are the type of person that needs that type of motivation, I can definitely do that as well. But, at this point in time, it's like, we all have to hold ourselves accountable for our decisions and what we're doing in our lives right now. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm not the only one that has, like, a community and a legacy to also uphold as well. Everyone has their own, stuff to handle, But it is what it is at the end of the day. You just have to make sure that at the end of it all, you're able to go ahead, look in the mirror, and be able to go to sleep and ask yourself, am I good with everything that happened today? Am I good with everything that I did today? Was it enough? Did I make an impact? You know what I mean? Was a statement made? Is my legacy going to be cemented even further than it was yesterday? Did I make it so that my legacy is going to leave a mark on others? And that's the point where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? Because I want my legacy to be one where it's like it uplifts people, makes people more than what they were yesterday. But hey, I appreciate your time. This is Rhapsody Starfire, and I will catch y'all next time. Till then, stay safe, stay golden, and shine bright, my stars. Deuces.